Hi, this is Karen Hurd. Welcome to your second training of 3 trainings, but this training is on the gateway skill, how to invite. And let's go right ahead, right into it, and get you started so you can get out there and rock your business. I'd like to just share my screen here and pull this up. All right, there we go. Welcome to, again, how to invite. We're going to be talking about a number of things, the mindset of inviting, the importance of developing it as a skill, and then how to do it. And then I'll share with you a few pro tips. All right, so this is, there we go. Inviting is what we call a gateway skill. And it is the first skill to master in your Shaklee business. It's actually more important than how you manage your time or how well you know the products, or setting up your office or anything like that. This is the skill that will be the one that in some ways makes or breaks your business. This is the skill that will require you virtually no money, but it will require you to put some heart, soul, and energy into it. As Eric Worre says, if you do not master the invitation, you do not have a business. Now, before you invite, there's a couple of things we're going to talk about before we get into the how-tos and the steps. I think that's the first thing. What do I say? Who do I talk to? How do I do it? But I need you to step back with me for just a second. The first thing to know is this, and as I said in the game plan video you just watched, is this. People are going to disappoint you. You're going to have people tell you no that you never expected them to say no. You're also going to have people tell you yes, that you're kind of blown away that they say yes. The thing to remember is this. There is not one single invitation you're going to make that is going to make or break your business. Not making invitations consistently or with enough frequency, well, that can make or break your business. But the one individual that says no or yes to you is not going to make or break your business. So if you reach out to someone and you say, oh, they know so many people, they're going to totally, knock this thing out of the park. It's going to be incredible to have them, and da-da-da, and you build them up and they say no to you. I've seen people quit over something like that. Seems reasonable, but it's actually ridiculous. That person was not going to make or break their business. You cannot predict what somebody's going to do in this business until they show you by their fruits what they're going to do in this business. So you can't control other people. It's funny. The Bible almost never talks, I don't think I've ever seen it talk about controlling others. It's always about self-control. So the one thing you can control in your business is what you do, how you do it, and how good at it you become. So as Ray Higdon says, be addicted to your activity and not the outcome. And what he means by the outcome of any one particular individual, or any one particular set of invitations. Lisa Grossman says, marry the process and divorce the result. She did a great video, and I posted it in our Facebook group. It was from her profile. I'd love to find a way to download it and get it in our website. But she was talking about the importance of marrying the process of building a business and the systems we have in place, and divorcing yourself from the result of any one business, any one person or group of people. The other thing you have to be willing to know before you even start inviting is being willing to hear the word no more than you hear the word yes. And you're probably going to hear me talk about this till you're like sick of it. But if you look at the greatest successes in life, they sometimes had the most failures. I was just listening to, it was in Rise of the Entrepreneur. And it was one of the speakers Eric Worre had, and he was talking about venture capitalists. Do you know that out of, say, every 11 ventures that these businesses that a venture capitalist invests in, and we're talking, right, can be significant sums of money, maybe several $100,000 or $1 million, what have you. One business will work and the other 10 will fail. One business makes them all that money. And he was talking about angel investors. How out of every 15 business or so they go in to save, one will make it. They make all their money on that one. So it's really important. If these people who've got data and who make their entire living off of researching companies and investing and making judgment calls based on the data that they have, if they fail more often than they succeed, why do we expect any different for ourselves? Now, the one thing I will say is when you say or somebody say, no, that's not a failure, okay? When somebody strikes out and they're playing baseball and they strike out, that's not a failure. So I'm just trying to give you the analogy that you're going to hear no more than you hear yes. The sooner you embrace that, and we kind of gamify it here, we talk about collecting no's and having a no goal for the day, that's how you're going to get to more yeses. Now, the other thing to know about, before we get started into the how-tos of inviting, is what you think about what you're inviting. So how you perceive your invitation, yourself, that you're giving them, is how the majority of people will receive it, even if it's a typed message. I don't understand completely how that works, right? I don't understand how the God of the universe gave us the ability to impact things that way, but he did to some extent. So if you perceive, you look at this bottom piece of the slide here, if you see that something that you are offering to someone, that it's positive, or is it something they need to do for you in order for you to make money? Well, and I can tell that somebody's thinking the latter when they say, well, Karen, how do I get this person to take a look? How do I get them to understand? Believe it or not, that's somebody who's probably not even aware that they are thinking like this, but they're they're actually thinking in a manipulative way. It's actually the type of thinking that most people don't like to be, they don't like have done to them. So if you perceive your invitation as a gift, as a potential, as a possibility for this person, if that person sees it, that's how they're going to receive it. Okay? The other thing is, what are you offering? Well, what you are offering, and this will become more clear to you the longer you are doing this, and the more people you invite, and the more people you see respond and not respond, and you get that experience that only comes from the doing. I can give you some stories, other people can give you stories, but until you experience it yourself, you kind of have to go through that. I one time was asking a master coordinator, I said, I really want to build my business. What do I need to do? And he said, what are you offering? And I didn't understand his question, frankly. I thought, well, I have the Freedom Project. I have this way of doing the business. And he said, no, what are you offering? And how I would answer that now, if he were here and I was asking. So I want you to think about it. What are you offering? You are offering people literally an opportunity to change their lives forever for the better in a way they could not have imagined. That's what you're offering. You're offering people a way to connect with a positive community of people moving forward. Most people who are not in those kinds of circles. I mean, the world is really about the path of least resistance, isn't it? And so you're offering joining a community of people looking to create something better for themselves and for the people around them. When it comes to the products, you're offering someone an opportunity perhaps to change a health prognosis. You're offering someone the opportunity to increase their health span along with their lifespan. You're offering somebody with a chronic condition perhaps a way to make that condition not define their lives so much. You're offering them an opportunity to be healthier maybe than they've ever been, and then all of the doors that opens. That's what you're offering in the very simple invitation you're making. It's up to them to take those steps and the door that you've cracked open for them and open it further for themselves. The other thing to know, the last thing to know before you invite, and again, If you're new and you've never done something like this before, this is kind of like, kind of like pie in the sky, which tell me what I need to do. But come back and in another week or so and watch this again. You might want to watch it again now. I hope it's that valuable to you. But you need to understand about your posture. And your posture is the attitude and belief in what you are doing, regardless of the response or the belief of the other person. I can't tell you how many times somebody takes this and offers it to 3 or 4 of their 5 of their friends, few friends, and lets the responses of their friends dictate whether or not they stay in their business. And I'm pretty sure those friends are not pooling money together to pay a mortgage or a child's orthodontic bill or pay for their retirement or help them to get healthier. All right? Sometimes the people around us don't understand. They haven't looked at what we've looked at. You might be more entrepreneurial than some of the people you know. You might see something here for yourself and they don't see it yet. So you have to believe in it yourself and not be put off by some of the negativity. You are going to get negativity. This is not the kind of thing you're going to offer to people and people are just going to say, woohoo. I mean, I think when we all got in, I know I was so impressed with what the product, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine people not at least trying the products. And then one time, and I would hear no, and it just blew me away. And I would say, how can I get so-and-so to take a look? And sometimes it was out of a concern for them. Sometimes it was out of a concern, frankly, because it was for income for us. And I'll never forget the one woman I met. I was doing an event for a new distributor, and she had like 10 or 12 people there. And one of the women there was, I think, either a nursing assistant or a licensed practical nurse. And she was on disability. She was an older woman. And she was clearly the woman that influenced the thinking. She was very influential in this circle of people. And we had just come out with the Joint Health Complex. And we were all blown away because at that time, now the idea that you can rebuild cartilage if you have osteoarthritis, which is the one that comes down from wear and tear, that's different than rheumatoid arthritis, which is as a result of autoimmune disease. So the idea that you could rebuild joints and maybe be even pain-free and have, almost the mobility you had in your youth or your younger days at least, was just incredible. And I said to her, well, can you see yourself wanting to try any of these? And she says, no, I'm not going to try anything. I said, oh, maybe I didn't, communicate something. And I asked her and I said, why don't you want to try anything? And she said, well, frankly, I believe these products will work. And if they work, I come off my disability. And then I have to go back to work, and I don't want to do that. Do you know nobody else? I think I sold a thing of Nature Bright and like a thing of Basic Age or skincare moisturizers thing. We sold almost nothing. But think about what she said. I believe your products work. And if they work, I'll come off disability. And if I come off disability, then I have to go back to work. I don't want to do that. That's a true story. I was absolutely shocked. I could not imagine. In my brain, it was just, that story is 20 years old, by the way. So it's 20 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I couldn't imagine somebody wanting to stay sick. I couldn't imagine somebody not wanting to be free of something they could be free of. I think I had good posture. I just said, okay. There was nothing to say. What if I had let her? Now, she allowed, by the way, all those other women in that room, there were like 10 of them, allowed her opinion to influence their health too. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's really crazy. I mean, it's really, when you look at it from the outside in, to sit there and have your mind blown at something like that. You're going to run into those kinds of stories. You're going to run into somebody who can do this business, has the startup funds and the skill sets, and could really not, and they just don't want to do it. They'd rather stay poor. I mean, all right? You're going to have people tell you that it's a scheme. You're going to have people tell you that it's a pyramid thing. You're going to have, and then you're going to get the stories. It's going to be very important. I'll teach you what to do when you get to those nasty no's, okay? But your posture is going to be absolutely key. This is why we work on your why statement. So in the beginning, which will be the next video after this, will be your why. The other thing to know, it's a little bit related to posture, but people who are marketing something tend to have overall one of three attitudes. They either see themselves as superior. Well, you have to. Doesn't happen that often, but sometimes they see it that way. They most often see themselves as subservient. That the minute they market something, all of a sudden they look up to people. Oh, please buy my product. I hope you like it. And you will see them be willing to discount the product. Well, what if I do this? And they'll like bend and twist to do anything for that person to, come forth and make a purchase or join the business. Those are both poor posture. The best posture is to see yourself on equal footing. All right, so just think about that a little bit. It'll become more evident as we do this. All right, so when you're inviting, we're going to get now into a little bit of the how-tos. Your primary focus is not, how do I get this person to join the business? That's not what you were asking them. How do I get this person to buy a youth system? How do I get this person to get on the 180 turnaround kit? How do I get this? That's not what your focus is. When you are inviting, your primary focus is, are they open to the offer that you're making? That's it. You see, if we think all we're doing is asking if you're open, I can ask pretty much anybody. If I'm looking to, if in my mind, decide whether or not this person could buy the product or whether or not this person could join the business, I'm going to ask very few people. They don't even know yet, okay? So all you're asking is, are they open? This is part of what you're getting married to, okay? So the question then becomes, how many people can you ask, are you open? If that's all you're truly asking, you can ask a lot. You can literally ask anyone. We do have something called the best invitation script formula. I use it for everything, whether it's product, whether it's an appointment, whether it's the business. I use it for everything, and that's what I love about it. I used to have, maybe you've seen my notebook like this, and I would write a script for every single thing. In part because it allows me to stay on track. Part of that was probably a lot of fear. I love this script. It's very simple. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. And because it's simple to do and simple to learn, you're far more likely to invite in the quantity you need to in order to get the result you want. You see this is in bold here, this next thing. Do not send a link or information without an agreement that they will watch or read it. You have a confirmed follow-up time. In my phone, I right now have a text from someone who said to me, and she's a powerful businesswoman, and she said, send me the link to your skincare. And I said, great, I'll do that. When will you have a few minutes to take a look? She hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'm holding my posture. I am not sending her a link. She can buy the Youth Advanced System and the I Think she can buy everything she wanted. Without an agreement from her as to when she's going to look at it, and at least a 3-minute call so I can get her feedback on whether or not she liked it, what she had questions about, or whether or not it was a no. That's posture. I will not be subservient. I'm a professional. You are a professional. You might not feel that way right now, but you are a professional. All right? Now, some of you will not believe me and you won't be able to do it, and that's all right. You're going to go send links. And you're going to find yourself 9 times out of 10 in a chasing position, right? So if you follow this, if you trust the process, right? I think, did I have that? I think maybe I took that off. I had a picture. Trust the process, okay? Track your activity. There's a couple of ways to do it. If you remember in the game plan video, I'm trying to see, now, of course I don't have that with me right now. You can do it in something as simple as a notebook. You can do it in a quad thing, and I have uploaded for you activity trackers. I like the activity trackers because I try to make them so that they reflected all of the activities we do in our business, and there's safety in numbers, which means if you invite 5 people, they all have to, you don't have anything, right? If you invite 50 or 100 or 500, now you'll get a sense of what's going on in your business. And just in the case of events, for example, about half the people you invite to any event, I don't care what it is, will actually be able to make it. They'll actually say yes or maybe. Half of those will actually come. All right. So if you invited 10 people to an event thinking you were going to have 10 people come up and 3 said yes, you might have 1. You might have 1. You will likely have a no-show. All right. So it's safety in numbers. Now, who do we invite? Well, in my mind, you can invite everyone, right? You don't know. You don't know. I think the stories are legion in this industry of somebody who was down on their luck. And for them, that was a temporary state, not the state of their life forever. And they got out of it. And they used being in Some People in Shackley did it. I mean, I remember there was a famous story of a couple of their presidential masters, and they had quite a few children, at least 5, I think 7. And when he was sponsored, he was laid off, Mason, and somebody who deals with laying bricks. He's laid off. There was no social media. And they literally, and you had to buy inventory back then, so they had to invest in some inventory because it was back in the day. And they literally sat themselves in a restaurant, all they could barely afford the cup of coffee they each bought, and literally talked to everybody who came in the restaurant. Eventually became presidential master coordinators. Right? There's a story of a man named Mark Yarnell, the late Mark Yarnell, who wrote the book Your First Year in Network Marketing. It was for a long time considered the book to read, and still a very good book to read, by the way. Get it? It's Your First Year in Network Marketing. He would literally stand on a street corner saying to everyone, are you open to earning $10,000 a month? Are you open to earning $10,000 a month? He eventually exceeded that income. Right? I'm not asking you to stand on street corners or stand in restaurants. But again, you are only asking if people are open. Open. Here's a couple of things not to do. Do not send a broadcast email to everybody and their brother and think because you sent out 300 emails, you're going to get 300 responses. You're not. Those bulk emails, they don't work. Okay, now you're probably, some of you are going to go try it, and that's fine, but they don't work. No massive group text. Do not sit there and put 100 people in a group text. Don't do 100 people in a Facebook message or a DM. No. All right? One-on-one. There's some ways to speed that up, but it's one-on-one. Okay? Now, there is an exception on who to invite. And I don't know a lot of people that are teaching this, but I'll teach it. Respect directories. So if you've got a directory from school or your child's troop or from church, that is not your calling list. That is not your calling list. If you're in like something like a Bible study, and you've got everybody's emails, that is not your prospecting list. If you're in support groups, whether it be for maybe there's a health challenge that you're in or a mental health group or something like that, that group, by and large, is not your prospect list. You respect any no solicitation requests. And not at funerals. I mean, if you're getting into a conversation with somebody, but I've seen people try to recruit people at funerals. Some letters like, whoa, there's people here. I'm gonna, like, don't do that. right? So you respect the event, right? So professionals, by the way, don't call down the directories and they don't broadcast email people, right? I mention this because somebody might get real excited and just grab hold and say, boy, I had a prospecting goal. I'm just going to go get that directory. Now, if you have a friend in the Bible study or a couple of people, then that's different, right? If you have some people who friended you on social media, that's different, right? And any of those things, that's different. But those collections of lists are not to be used for solicitation. Good on that? Now, what can you use to invite? If you really do want to stand on the street corner, you just knock yourself out, go for it. Going to the mall. I mean, I've even done that where I've gone to the mall and tried to speak to employees. Doesn't work as well as it used to. I think in the day when that was the only way to reach people, people did it. But you can use text. You can use any kind of direct messaging, whatever your platform is, whether it's Snapchat or Box or whatever. You can use Messenger. You can use the phone. You can do it in person. So the actual tool or platform doesn't matter. Okay. So let's do it now. So grab your phone. Look out, Karen. You're serious. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious. All right. I've got my phone. Let me get my contact list. Do one right now. Let me scroll through somebody that I haven't done yet. Okay. I've really gone through this list. I'm in the A's. I've gone through everybody in the A's. Got through everybody in the B's too. All right, pick a name. All right, and what I want you to do is just type, can I ask you a question? And before you do it, finish with me on the slide, all right? Can I ask you a question? Then just test back, what do you want? And you say, this is probably random, but are you open to hearing about something that, now, whatever product line you've decided to focus on. So if it's losing weight, now if you're texting somebody that's overweight, let me help you with that before you text on that. But are you open, let's talk about youth, for example. Are you open to hearing about something that helps skin look younger if it's natural? If not, no worries. I'm just taking a shot in the dark. You know, I know that you love skincare. I know that you love whatever. If that's true, I thought I'd take a shot and reach out. Okay? Do this 10 people right now. Remember, all you're asking them is, are you open? Now, if they respond, what is it? You say, great. You don't say, oh, it's this and this. You'll notice there's no selling here. You're not doing a pitch. You're asking if they're open. Great. I'll get you the link with the details. When will you have a few minutes to take a look? I can do that today. Awesome. Can you get that done by? And then suggest 1 or 2 times that are kind of oddball times. All right? They'll confirm that time, and then you send the third-party tool. Now, if you've got the Freedom Project, you can send them to a Lincoln Wellness Project. If you don't, you can send them to one of the testimonials. If you've got a before and after in your phone, send them the before and after. Okay? Let's do one for the business, or 10 people you can share your business with. Now, the thing about text, if you're using your phone, is that, and I should show you some of the ones I did, because I'm my coach. I've got 21 people to do tonight before I'm done recording this. You can't do this with Messenger, but you can do this with text. You can copy and paste the initial opening. Just make sure that you've changed out their first name. Don't do it. Yes, I did that once. Texted some people like all the same first name. So I want to catch up with you. This is great for friends. I want to catch up with you, and I hope you're cool with me getting to the point of my text. This may be random, but are you open to hearing about a side project if it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing? If not, no worries. I just think you're a fun person, and I wanted to take a shot and reach out. I just think you're a sharp person, and I wanted to take a shot and reach out. I just think you're awesome, and I want to take a shot and reach out. Okay, they'll get back. What side project? They'll get back. What do you got? They'll get back. Is this selling? Doesn't matter what they say. Anything that's slightly positive, you say, great, I'll send you a link with the details. When would you have a few minutes to take a look? I'll look tonight. Great, it's real short. After you watch it, let's hop on a quick call at 7:32. Here's the link. And this is in your best invitation script formula, all right? In Messenger, you can do it by type or you can do it by voice and check your spelling. All right, especially if you're doing it by voice, right? AI is not taking the world over the world anytime soon, because you can see how it doesn't, right? So you want to look professional, and so check your spelling and your pace. In Messenger, you cannot copy paste. Facebook counts the keystrokes. I believe the other systems do as well. So, or they may well. And so you just give yourself like a break of a minute or two. It's not too hard, actually. People come back and forth. Text, you can copy and paste. Make sure the name is correct. Voicemail, if you're using the phone and you get voicemail, and you will get voicemail about 95% of the time. Okay? You can just say, hey, Babaloo, this is Karen. Listen, I want to ask, can you give me a call back? Sometimes you leave the voicemail and they'll text you what's up. Right? So that's how you do it. Download the best invitation script formula in Messenger, type or voice. Make sure you check the spelling before you hit send. And just watch your pacing so you end up in Facebook jail. Let's talk just for a second about Facebook jail. If you're going too fast, you're copying or pasting, and Facebook thinks you're a bot, you're spamming people, it'll lock you out of your account for a few days. No big deal, but it'll do that. You can also do this in LinkedIn as well. It's a little bit different for LinkedIn. LinkedIn people are not in there the way they are with Facebook, so it's not quite real time. Okay, so here's some pro tips. Go for now. Your no goal is more important than your yes goal. And I will tell you, I just saw a story just the other day, in fact, about somebody who pushed through the nose. He decided to do one more. That one more person he asked bought a $200 order. All right. Fast disqualification is good. Let's talk about fast disqualification. And again, if you're married to the process and you're divorced from the results, you're addicted to your activity, and you understand there's safety in numbers, and you're not married to the outcome, all right, you can have a good posture. If somebody comes back at you with negativity or nastiness, or, you know, somebody called me sneaky. So hey, that's fine. This might not be a fit for you. Do you know anybody else? You just get right out of it. Okay? Do not sell. Selling was when you go into convincing mode. This is going to be great. This product is, we really do have the best products. Nobody's got the studies we do. Nobody's got the results base we do. All right. How many of you know that parts of the dream plan, like the True Infinity bonus, is patented? Not a lot of people have a patented compensation plan. Not a lot of companies are foundation companies that kind of help start the network marketing business or started the whole, I mean, if people are drinking a protein smoothie, they can thank Dr. Shackley. He created them, all right? So be ready to move on next. That will protect you more than anything, all right? And if somebody's really interested, they won't let you go. Activity is more important than perfection. I heard it today. Ugly works. Don't worry about being perfect. I know as adults, we want it to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You'll get better as you go. And remember, marry the process, divorce yourself from the result. No one invitation is the invitation upon which your entire business hangs. Okay? If you blow it, you blow it. No big deal. Okay? Whatever voices are going to come at you about making a mistake, give yourself some grace. Tell them to be quiet. right? It will take many invitations for you to learn and observe how people operate in the system. I know, for the most part, about 90% of the time, if somebody goes through a classroom 2 with me, they're going to join. They do not let themselves get that far if they're not going to join. 90% of the time. Okay. Now, how do I know that? I put enough people in the system to see that. I didn't go in with that idea. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm kind of always amazed. I'll be sending out my invitations like I did last night. I think I sent 15 of them out last night. And boom, I got 2 people biting. I mean, like within seconds. Yeah, what you got? Oh, and by the way, they became Facebook friends of mine in 2010 and really hadn't talked to them. All right. So again, if you're asking whether or not people are open, some people think they can only invite the people they know the super best. No, in fact, the majority of your business will be spent inviting people you don't know very well. Another pro tip, collect stories. I told you several stories today. So I want you to collect stories of people whose lives were changed by the business, whose lives were changed by the products, people who have stories for you about how they invited people and how they were invited. Those will encourage you. They will inform and educate you. Some of them will be great telling, and you're going to have your own story soon too. So inviting is the key to unlocking a lot of the benefits, the travel like the dream trips, being able to do what interests you and create the future you want, right? And like Barb and Ray with their bonus car. You have your cars paid for. You have your retirement funded, your kids' college fund funded. You have fund money, so if an opportunity comes up for your family, you can take advantage of it. All of that's possible when you master the gateway skill of inviting. So after this, when you're done, go download the scripts, and I challenge you to do 20 invitations right when you're done. Don't worry about being perfect, and get back with me or your sponsor, and we'll help you work it out. All right? God bless. You're going to go crush this thing and have fun.